It was a week dominated by news of indoor dining shutdowns around the nation in response to rising case counts, hospitalizations, and transmission rate. At Tuesday's press conference, Pennsylvania Secretary of Health Dr. Rachel Levine seemed to acknowledge that restaurants are not the source of the problem by announcing 4 areas of targeted efforts that included colleges, hospitals, travel from other states, and increased focus on mask wearing. When asked about restaurants, she said that there are already restrictions in place and no new ones are anticipated at this time. While we appreciate not being on the receiving end of additional statewide mitigation strategies this week, a colleague of mine pointed out that the phrase "at this time" can have a short shelf life, so we stay on our guard. Not taking this week's announcement seriously could lead to the same outcomes we're seeing in New York, Michigan, Washington, and more. We're already seeing it in Philadelphia, where the ban on indoor dining begins today at 5 p.m. and lasts until January 1st, 2021. Meanwhile, the National Restaurant Association is pushing back against these recent indoor dining shutdowns, citing a lack of evidence of a systemic outbreak of COVID-19 in a restaurant following its safe operating guidance and local guidelines. This week, the association's CEO, Tom Benet, sent letters to the U.S. Conference of Mayors and National Governors Association expressing concerns with these types of knee-jerk reactions and their impact on the industry. Certainly, the travel restrictions announced this week will further impact our already suffering hotel and tourism partners. The significant rise in case counts across our state and the nation will undoubtedly keep people at home. In Allegheny County, where Pittsburgh is located, Health Department Director Dr. Deborah Bogan announced strong stay-at-home recommendations. So even though restaurants and hotels may still be operational, the effect will be to severely curtail business in that county. The American Hotel and Lodging Association this week released the results from its latest front desk feedback survey on the hotel's financial outlook and staffing. The top line finding is that 71% of hotels won't survive another 6 months without further government COVID relief. PRLA is partnering with the National Restaurant Association to gather critical current data on the impact of the pandemic on the restaurant industry. Please take the time to complete the latest COVID-19 restaurant impact survey before November 30th. The results of the last survey have been invaluable in helping us shed light on the plight of our industry. On Wednesday, PRLA sponsored a rally on the Harrisburg Capitol steps as one more way to keep our industry front and center in the minds of legislators and the governor. We thank those of you who attended the rally in person and in spirit. Representatives from the industry spoke passionately about the impact of these mitigation tactics on their businesses and employees, as well as the financial relief that is necessary to survive the upcoming winter months. Legislators from the Senate and the House joined us to voice their support and encourage our persistence in fighting for our industry. Unfortunately, despite the pleas of our industry and others, Republican leaders in the Pennsylvania House yesterday put forth a plan to use all $1.3 billion in remaining CARES Act funding to pay for the state budget. This money was granted to the state with the understanding that it would be used to assist those economically impacted by the coronavirus. And we feel that using this money to balance the state's budget is not only improper, but potentially illegal. The announcement was especially startling considering the public commentary of many legislators and the governor about the need to get financial aid to restaurants, hotels, and tourism partners. You can be sure that we will continue to do everything we can to get this money to folks in our industry. But as of now, the outlook is bleak. Add to that, it was reported yesterday that the COVID-4 package in Washington has once again stalled and that there will be no action prior to Thanksgiving. And as we approach the Thanksgiving holiday, this year it will be especially challenging to find those things we are thankful for. I will be focusing on family and friends, the real joys of life. We may be sharing virtual hugs this year, but live or in spirit, we will be together. I'm John Longstreet with another edition of It Happened This Week. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again next week.